that Russia and Russia's oldest operating factory would be one that actually makes watches.
Yes, well, I wouldn't have. And on top of that, Jacques, who would have thought that such a historical organisation would be guided by the creative influences of an expat? To find out more, let's meet the man himself, the star of this week's Prime Portrait.
Hi, my name is Jacques von Polier. I'm the creative director of the Petrodvorets watch factory Raketa, Russia's oldest factory, founded by Peter the Great in 1721. I will show you around. First of all, I have some ancestors who lived in Russia. And my first ancestor who came to Russia, he came with Napoleon 200 years ago. This year we'll celebrate the 200 years of my family in Russia. Here we are in the design studio. We're in Moscow. Here we create all the new watches, the new brochures, all what is necessary to create a Raketa. The factory itself is in Saint Petersburg, to be more precise, in Pетербург. With Raketa we have an amazing company, 300 years of history. We really produce something. We produce something complicated. It's a watch. It's something really complicated to produce. And it's interesting, and it's a fashion accessory somewhere. Here I will show you a bit how we create watches with the designers that we have here. As you can see, we have some designers working on different projects. Here we have Dima working on the poster of the new watch designed by Natalia Vadianova, who is supporting the factory. Here we have Zhenya working on new dials for the watches. These dials will probably be ready maybe in a few months and be in the shops in a few months. And here we have Alyona working on the design of a new box for the watches. The boxes are almost as important as the watches because very often watches are a good present. I always have been someone creative, and I always liked to create, to paint, to etc., etc. And that's also something that is motivating me a lot in Raketa, is that I can use this creativity into the brand. 10 years ago, when I bought this flat, it was very fashionable to do Euro-remont. I decided to go against the trend and to do a very Russian remont. And that's why I have assembled here art and things that are really Russian. Most of it, I restored it myself. The paintings that you see here, the portraits of famous Russian politicians, Russian writers. I have a very dynamic life. I have many interesting things to do. And what I do now with the Petrodvorets watch factory, I'm not really sure I could have found such an interesting project in Europe. Here we have many things that are linked with the factory. I collect whatever is linked with the factory. When I find something on internet for sales or that is linked to the factory, I always buy it. And the idea is to very soon open a small museum at the factory so that tourists can visit. Here I have letters from Peter the Great, from Catherine the Great, about our factory. So this is just not a joke, it's real. This is history. When you buy a Raketa, you get a little bit of this. So here we will go and visit one of our point of sales. This is a beautiful shop, it's called Podium. We are very glad that the watches Raketa are represented here because this shop has a great reputation of luxury, and for our brand that was a bit forgotten the last 15 years, it's very important to be in such beautiful, fashionable shops. Let's go inside. Brands are interesting because actually you don't sell a tie, you don't sell a watch, you sell a dream. And this dream is wearing something. Our dream is to sell something that is really made in Russia, that is really authentic, and that wears this Russian history.